Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Today, we're going to be following up on what the president has just said here at a press conference. Apparently, he has postponed tax day, which is normally this upcoming April 15th, to July 15th. So basically, we're 3 months out. You can take that however you would like as far as perspective, but he said that hopefully we'll be past this by then. Let's just check out the president's words and what he has to say, and we'll comment as we go.
Thank you very much. I had a very good telephone conversation, extremely good, with Senator Schumer a little while ago.
Good.
We're working on various elements of the deal, and the Democrats are very much wanting something to happen, and the Republicans likewise are very much wanting something to happen. And I think it will. I spoke with at length with
a lot of people aren't
Mitch
agreeing.
McConnell. And
How do you do what's fair?
there's
What is
tremendous
fair?
spirit to get something
Can't make
done, so we'll
everyone
see what
happy.
happens. But my conversation was very good with Senator Schumer. I thank you all for joining us, and I'd like to begin by providing an update on what we are doing to minimize the impact of the Chinese virus on our nation's students.
Oh, there he goes again.
With many
Is
schools
it crossed out
closed due
this
to
time?
the virus, the Department of Education will not enforce standardized testing requirements, very importantly, for students in elementary through high school for the current year. They've been through a lot. They've been going back and forth, schools open, schools not open. It's been all
No MCAS?
standardized testing, and it's we're not going to be enforcing that, so I think you can let the people know. I think probably a lot of the students would be extremely happy, some probably not. The ones that work hard, maybe not, but it's one of those things. Unfortunate, very unfortunate circumstance. We've also temporarily waived all interest on federally held student loans. They'll be very happy to hear that. And I've instructed them to take that action immediately.
What
And
about
today,
people's
Secretary DeVos has
payments
directed
and this
federal
and
lenders
that?
to allow borrowers
I know
to
no
suspend
private
their
industry
student
is stepping
loans
up,
and
but
loan payments without penalty for at
you sh-
least the next 60 days. And
if
if we
you're
need
shutting-
more, we'll extend that
if you're shutting
period
down
of
the
time.
country,
Borrowers
people
should contact
need to have
their
a certain
lenders,
level of
but we've given them very
guarantee.
strong instructions. So we've temporarily waived all interest on federally held student loans. That's a big thing. That's going to make a lot of students very happy. And we have more
if
to
they still
come on
got
student
payments,
loans,
so what's
more
gonna
good news
happen?
for the
Here's the
students, but
thing.
we'll do that at a
Tell them
different
folks they can't have a
time.
paycheck.
This morning, the
because of the
Treasury
government.
Department also announced that we're moving tax
are we
day from
doing?
April 15th to July 15th. So we're moving it out to July 15th so that people will have time and people will be able to, hopefully by that time, we'll have people getting back to their lives. Families and businesses will have this extra time to file with no interest or penalties. We're getting rid of interest and penalties. However, if you have refunds or credits you would like to claim, you may still file. In other words, you can file early if you are owed money by the IRS. Other than that, we're moving it all the way out to July 15th. No interest, no penalties. Your new date will be July 15th. Today, our team will also provide an update on our continuing effort to prevent the transmission of virus across America's borders. And I watched what's been happening in California with Governor Newsom and this morning with Governor Cuomo, and I applaud them. They're taking very strong, bold steps, and I applaud them.
Yeah, California's basically on
And
lockdown.
we're all working together. We're working very closely together, including
heard martial
those two
law
governors.
yet, but I mean,
I would say, based on the
scary for
call, the
folks.
media was there. I think we can say that with respect to virtually every governor in that call. I think every governor. We had almost all of them, if not all of them. And I would say that you could see for yourselves that the level of respect and esprit de corps working together was extraordinary. There was nobody angry, nobody upset. We're able to help them, and that's what we're all about. We want to help. things
They end up
that, a lot of people
releasing.
wouldn't be able to
that's
do.
a little loud. They end up releasing
But
the
the
rest
relationship
of that call
with
the other
governors
day.
and states is, I think, very extraordinary,
just kinda
especially
cut off
under
when I was trying to
the
scream, and I'm like,
circumstances where this
"Wait,
just
what?"
came upon us.
But they did actually release.
We're working with Canada and Mexico to prevent the spread of the virus across North America very closely. You heard what we did yesterday with Canada. And Secretary of State Pompeo will be making a statement in a little while having to do with Mexico and the border. And Chad Wolf will likewise be making a statement. There's a joint comprehensive effort in collaboration with our neighbors. The measure and all of those measures that we're putting in place will protect the health of all three nations and reduce the incentive for a mass global migration that would badly deplete the healthcare resources needed for our people. And so we are working very closely with Mexico, very closely with
the virus is
with
of
Canada.
a certain type. Whereas
The relationship's
if there's
never been better.
mutation
We're
from
all
another
working for the
continent that's
same,
happened,
toward the same
then you
goal.
may have potential reinfection.
Our nation's
Stuff.
top
Again, I ain't a doctor or
healthcare
a health
officials are
professional.
extremely concerned about the
That's what I
grave
heard on the
public
internet.
health consequences of mass uncontrolled cross-border movement. And that would be mostly, and even beyond, but mostly during this global pandemic. Every week, our border agents encounter thousands of unscreened,
Seems like just a
unvetted,
couple of
and
weeks
unauthorized entries from
Oh, it's the flu.
dozens
it's the
of countries,
sniffles.
and we've had this problem
Don't
for
freak
decades.
people out. And now
For
everyone's
decades,
like
you know the
freaking
story.
out.
But now it's with the national emergencies and all of the other things that we've declared, we can actually do something about it. We're taking a very strong hold of that. And we have before, but this is now at a level that nobody's
Almost like it
ever
depends on where
approached.
you get your sources and
In normal
stuff from.
times, these
And
massive flows place a vast
seems like they'll
burden
apply
on
for
our
everybody,
healthcare system.
including the top.
But during a global pandemic, they threatened to create a perfect storm that would spread the infection to our border agents, migrants, and to the public at large. Left unchecked, this would cripple our immigration system, overwhelm our healthcare system, and severely damage our national security. We're not going to let that happen. So we have a lot of information, and they'll
I
be
just got really
discussing that in a
confused 'cause
moment.
that young
To
lady
confront
behind
these
him, I
public
actually thought was
health
Secretary
degrees, the
Clinton for a
Centers for
second.
Disease Control
Then-
and
then I
Prevention has
recognized it
decided
was
to exercise
another,
its
I think,
authority
doctor
under the
that
Title
came up.
42 of the U.S. Code to give customers and border
I haven't had my coffee
protection
yet. Leave me alone.
the tools it needs to prevent the transmission of the virus coming through both the northern and the southern borders. So we're treating the borders equally, the northern border and the southern border. It's being treated, they're both being treated equally. A lot of people say that they're not treated equally. Well, they
I
are.
don't think the number of resources
As we did with
are
Canada,
equal. I
we're
could be
also
wrong.
working
I
with
could be
Mexico to
wrong.
implement new rules at our ports of entry to suspend non-essential travel. These new rules and procedures will not impede lawful trade and commerce. Furthermore, Mexico is taking action to secure our own southern border and suspend air travel from Europe. So we're coordinating very closely with the air travel going to Mexico and then trying to come into the United States.
Who's still commercially
The actions
flying?
we're taking together with
Whichever one I
our
talk
North
to.
American partners will save countless
They either
lives.
self-canceled or have been canceled
At the
on.
conclusion of my remarks, Secretary
One of my
Azar,
friends,
Secretary
she's stuck in
Pompeo,
India still.
Secretary Wolf, we're going to be also taking some questions with Tony and Deborah, who you've gotten to know very well. But they'll be discussing certain things, and I think you'll find them of great interest. We're going to be providing tremendous amounts of detail over the coming days, but a lot of it will be provided right now if you'd like to find out about it. There's been a week of resolute action, tremendous relationships have developed with people that frankly didn't get along, people that didn't like each other. They're now working together and maybe even in some cases
when you
learning
have to
about each
focus
other
on
and
a
liking each
singular
other. It's
task.
a nice thing.
It's
I
amazing what
invoked
can
the
happen.
Defense Production
I
Act,
learned this from Naruto.
and last night we put it into gear. We moved the National Response Coordination Center to the highest level of activists. I mean, if you take a look at what we did, the level of activation has been increased to a grade 1 level, which is the highest level.
Gonna-
We're providing
to
historic
seize the
support
means
to
of
small
production.
businesses and to the states. The states need support. Normally, they do this themselves, but because of the magnitude of it, the federal government has gotten very much involved in terms of getting the equipment they need. So we're helping them. It's a responsibility they have, but we
Would be
are
Defense
helping
Day.
the states
locally
lot.
run, federally
That's why the
supported.
governors, I think, in every case
Actually
have
doesn't
been
sound too bad.
impressed and very
So
nice.
the
We enacted
federal government
legislation
is,
guaranteeing paid sick leave
Commanding.
for workers at no cost to employers. And I think it's very important. So they get paid sick leave at no cost to employers. We're accelerating the use of new drug treatments. We're advancing legislation to give direct payments to hardworking families.
We are
Throughout our
watching
country, Americans from all walks of life are rallying together to defeat the unseen enemy striking our nation. In times of struggle, we see the true greatness of the American character, and we are seeing that. A lot of people are talking about it.
I think we can do it.
We're at 141 countries, from what they're telling me, and some of those countries are really working in a unified manner, and they're working very unified with us. Almost, I could say, a good number of them. Doctors and nurses are working nonstop to heal the sick. Citizens and churches are delivering meals to the needy. Truckers are making the long haul to keep shelves stocked. We've been dealing with the big stores and the big chains, Walmart. They've been fantastic, and others. They've all been fantastic.
It's funny how
We've made it much easier for them to stock in terms of travel and travel restrictions. We're lifting restrictions so they can get their trucks on time. You're seeing very few empty shelves, and yet the amount of volume that they're doing is unprecedented because people want to have what they have to have, what they feel they have to have. And they're also buying in slightly smaller quantities, which is good because we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. So I want to thank all of those very great companies for working so well. Americans from every walk of life are coming together. And thanks to the spirit of our people, we will win this war. And we are. We're winning, and we're going to win this war. America will triumph, and America will rise higher than ever before. We'll be stronger than ever before. And we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about relying on other countries. And I can say that I think in both a very good and a very bad way. Some good things came out of it, and some not so good things came out of it. So I'd like to move now to invite our team to provide information on the new measures to prevent viral spread at our borders. And I'll start by asking Secretary of State Pompeo to speak. He's doing a fantastic job, and like everyone else, he's been working very, very long and very, very hard, and he's doing the other more normal jobs of a great Secretary of State, but he got tied into this like everybody else, and he's been really doing a fantastic job. Mike, please.
Let's cut Secretary Pompeo off, but we're going to cut Secretary Pompeo off. All right, so what do we know? Secretary Pompeo basically, Martin, he kind of still goes into, basically there's a hard and soft closing of the northern and southern border. Pardon me, excuse me, soft closing. By that, what I mean, standard trade, work, activities and stuff, but basically non-essential, like any form of leisure, stuff like that, the borders are closed. That's the thing. He covers some foreign engagements as well for updates there. I will put the link to all this down in the diddly below, just so folks can continue to watch the live stream, the Q&A and everything. But I did just kind of want to get a short video with the president's actual remarks there. And again, at the top of it, he's basically, the breaking news is tax day, which is typically April 15th, has been postponed 3 months to July 15th. So, that's right, April, May, June, May, June, July. Okay, yes, 3. Math is hard, leave me alone, but that's all we got for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who may watch in the future. Peace out, everybody, and long live the elbow bump. Ba-dun-dun-dun.
The incarnation of destruction.